A night out that never ended. It was the early hours of Saturday, the 19th of March 2011 in Swindon, Wiltshire, a small, close-knit town where nights out usually ended with laughter, takeaway food, and a walk home through quiet streets. That night, 22-year-old Sian O'Callaghan was out with friends at a popular nightclub called Suju. She was a personal assistant, happy, kind, and loved by everyone who knew her. She lived with her boyfriend, Kevin Reap, in a flat not far from the club. At 2:50 in the morning, Sian left Suju alone. CCTV showed her walking away from the club, steady on her feet and alert. She sent a short text to Kevin that said, "Where are you?" But that was the last time anyone ever heard from her. By morning, she hadn't come home. Kevin tried calling her phone again and again, but it was switched off. That was when the panic began to set in. The disappearance. When the police were first called, they treated it like any other missing persons case. Maybe she'd stayed with a friend or lost her phone. But as the hours passed, it became clear that this wasn't just a misunderstanding. Sian's friends said she was reliable, the kind of person who always checked in, and her handbag, keys, and other belongings was still inside her flat. Police began reviewing CCTV footage and mobile phone data. They saw Sian leave the nightclub but never arrive home. Her phone had travelled south, in the opposite direction to her flat, before going dark. Something was seriously wrong. The search that captivated the country. By Sunday, Sian's disappearance was national news. Volunteers from across the area joined search teams. Posters with her face on appeared on lampposts, in shop windows, and on car windscreens. Helicopters and police dogs scoured the fields and forests outside Swindon. The biggest clue came from her phone signal. It had last connected to a tower near Savernake Forest, a huge wooded area outside of the town. Police held a press conference, saying they believed Sian had been taken against her will. Her mother, Elaine Pickford, made a heartbreaking public plea. "Please, whoever has her, just bring her home." The entire country was watching. A lead emerges. As investigators combed through hours of CCTV footage, they noticed something strange. A green Toyota Avensis appeared on several cameras near where Sian was last seen. It was seen moving in the same direction as her phone signal. The car was registered to 47-year-old Christopher Halliwell, a local taxi driver. He lived quietly in Swindon with his partner and children. He seemed polite and ordinary, the kind of man who didn't attract any attention. But police noticed something odd. After Sian vanished, Halliwell suddenly stopped working. That was enough to put him under surveillance. The arrest. 5 days after Sian disappeared, on the 24th of March, police followed Halliwell as he drove out of Swindon towards a remote quarry near Uffington. When he stopped the car, they moved in and arrested him. He denied everything at first, but as detectives questioned him, he began to show cracks. Detective Superintendent Steve Fulcher, who led the case, decided to take an unusual approach. Instead of driving Halliwell straight to the station, he brought him to a hill overlooking the Wiltshire countryside and spoke to him quietly. He told Halliwell that this was his chance to do the right thing, to help bring Sian home. After a long silence, Halliwell finally spoke. "I will take you to her," he said. The confession. Halliwell led police to Uffington Quarry, where Sian's body was found, buried under bush and debris. The discovery devastated her family and confirmed what they already feared. But the horror wasn't over. As Fulcher prepared to leave, Halliwell looked at him again and said something that stopped everyone in their tracks. "Would you like another one?" He told them about another woman, a woman who had been missing for years. He led them to a field near Eastleach in Gloucestershire. There, police uncovered human remains, later identified as 20-year-old Becky Godden Edwards, who had vanished in 2003. Her disappearance had never been solved. The legal nightmare. For the detectives, it seemed like they'd caught a serial killer. 2 murders solved, 2 families given answers. But then the case took a complicated turn. Because Fulcher had spoken to Halliwell before formally cautioning him or giving him access to a lawyer, the confession about Becky's murder was ruled inadmissible in court. Halliwell was only charged with killing Sian O'Callaghan. It was a devastating blow. Fulcher had followed his instincts to find Sian quickly, but the legal system punished him for it. His career never recovered, and he eventually resigned from the police. He later said he'd do the same again because it brought Sian home to her family. Justice, eventually. Years later, investigators continued to quietly build a separate case around Becky Godden Edwards. New forensic evidence linked Halliwell to her murder beyond doubt. In 2016, he was finally charged and convicted for both killings. The court heard how Halliwell had a pattern. He targeted women who looked similar: petite, brunette, outgoing. Detectives suspected there could be more victims, but no others have ever been confirmed. When the judge handed down the sentence, he called Halliwell a cold, calculating, predatory killer. Halliwell was given a whole life order, meaning he would never be released. The aftermath. For Sian's family, there was relief, but no peace. Her mother said she was grateful for the justice, but the pain would never go away. As for Steve Fulcher, his life changed completely. He was forced out of the career he devoted his life to, but many people still call him a hero. He once said, "If I hadn't done what I did, Sian would still be lying out there." The case left behind questions that will probably never be answered, about how far the police should go to do what's right, and about what evil can look like when it's hidden in plain sight. The man who hid in plain sight. Christopher Halliwell wasn't the kind of man you'd expect to be a killer. He was a father, a partner, a taxi driver, someone that people trusted. But under that quiet exterior was a man capable of unthinkable violence. He hunted women who crossed his path and buried his crimes beneath a mask of normality. If not for one detective's courage, he might still be out there, driving the same streets, looking for his next victim. Sian O'Callaghan's story is a haunting reminder that danger can hide in the most ordinary places, and that sometimes the people we trust to take us home are the ones that we should fear the most.